Did you know you may actually be training your child to misbehave? And each time you do it, it solidifies their undesired behavior even more? In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 things you might be doing that are causing your child to continue misbehavior and causing your frustration level to grow. So let's get started. Number 1, giving choices when misbehavior occurs. Try to think of this from your child's point of view. Let's say they are throwing a fit because they don't want to wear a certain shirt that you have told them to put on. If you respond by giving them several choices of other shirts, or give them a choice about when to put on the shirt, or any number of choices, rather than require them to obey your instructions to put it on now, what happens in their own mind? In their mind, they learn that if they don't want to do something, they can throw a fit and their mom will give them some other choices. It gives them control over the situation. It goes from you being the parent and being in charge to them being in charge because they get to choose how things are going to go. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong to give them choices. It's fine to do so before they throw a fit or argue to you about your instructions. In fact, I would suggest laying out 2 shirts from the start and asking which they would like to wear. That's totally fine. You are taking charge by giving them choices that you will allow. That's okay. But if you have given them a shirt and told them to put it on, it is now not appropriate to give them a choice if they fuss about it. To do so teaches them to fuss to gain control of a situation. Number 2, appeasing misbehavior with compliance. In the same shirt scenario, if a parent appeases the child by allowing them to say no to the instructions, and then the parent complies to their demands, of course, what has that said to the child in the end? From their point of view, again, they have gained control by fussing. A parent can then expect fussing constantly when they give instructions. After all, children are clever. It doesn't take much to realize that a quick fuss will cause the parent to comply to their demands. Number 3, distracting from the misbehavior rather than addressing it. I'm a big critic of distracting a child from misbehavior. Many parenting experts say to use distraction as a way to stop children from throwing tantrums or otherwise displaying undesired behavior. But in my opinion, that does not teach them to behave. It only distracts them from misbehaving. In other words, it doesn't teach them anything. So in this scenario, for example, if a parent would show the child a pair of pants that they know they like in order to distract them from the shirt they don't like, they're not teaching their child to behave. This is a sure way to miss an opportunity to teach good behavior. The behavior that is wrong should be addressed so the child learns not to behave this way in the future. And if that is done, they will be more content generally, and you will be much less frustrated in the end. Number 4, negotiating to convince the child to comply. If a parent bribes the child, so to speak, by saying, "If you put on your shirt, then we will go to the park," they are giving the child the authority to say no to their instructions, because by saying "if, then," the "if" gives the child control. In other words, what if the child chooses not to put on the shirt? Now you aren't going to the park? And who made that decision? The child did. This was setting up a negotiation. You don't negotiate with a child once you have stated an expectation and they defy your instructions. Now, don't get me wrong, this can be stated differently where the parent is still in charge. This could be stated in this way: "We only have so much time. I will not be able to take you to the park unless you get this shirt on quickly. But you will get this shirt on either way. I will decide whether or not we will go to the park depending on how long it takes you to get over your fussing and get it done." This is not an if-then that leaves the child in charge. This is where the parent takes charge and sets the boundaries and limits, not the child. This is not a negotiation. The parent is just stating facts. Number 5, coddling a child when they misbehave. Again, think of this from the child's point of view. You tell them to get a shirt on and they fuss and refuse. What happens next? They get loving cuddles, kind and understanding words. In other words, positive attention for misbehavior. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand this kind of response will cause more of the same misbehavior. And believe me, many experts, especially gentle parenting advocates, suggest to coddle a misbehaving child by telling them you understand how hard it is to comply, and etc. That only encourages the child to see themselves as a victim of a difficult life full of harrowing challenges, rather than to see reality. Reality is, they have a shirt to wear in the first place, a nice home, loving parents, all the food they need, activities and friends, etc. Telling the child, I understand it's hard, is actually a lie. It is not hard. It is easy, and they are making it hard with their attitude. Parents coddling this kind of attitude does not help the child see things in perspective and have a grateful heart for all the blessings in their lives. They instead focus on the things they don't like or don't want to do, and make that the center of their consciousness, which causes them to believe they are victims of a difficult life at every turn. This does not serve the child well, can cause them to feel depressed and anxious, and causes them to misbehave more often. If you've been employing any of these 5 responses to your child's misbehavior, it's likely you are struggling with an ever-increasing amount of conflicts in your parent-child relationship. But you can change this. Parenthood should not be a constant struggle. If it is, something needs to change. Here's what you can do. Watch the videos on this channel. If you have watched the videos on this channel and read my book and still feel you need more personal help, you can schedule a consultation with me at my website, mommyanswerlady.com. Parents, you can do this. Please remember to subscribe and hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you here next time.